Anyway, we were gonna talk about the hardcore situation. Let's do that. Because this is so crazy. I wouldn't call this drama, but I would say that it's a serious problem based on what I can see so far. Let's look at it together. I love hardcore, as y'all know. I'm very passionate about Hardcore Classic. I think it's the most fun classic game mode, in my personal opinion, as a person who played vanilla a lot already back in the day. So I don't really do normal classic. But I do love hardcore. So apparently 5 days ago, there was mass deaths because of server lag, or perhaps it was a DDoS, as if millions of voices suddenly cried out in terror and were suddenly silenced. Are you kidding me? You asked where was that from? Cars 2. God, that's funny. But not a funny situation. Not a funny situation. We lost a lot today. Not just characters. I'm sorry for anyone who lost their characters today in the purge. I personally lost 2 60 guildies who I've been grinding with non-stop recently. Prebis, Attunes, you name it. Rip to Zeno and Giant Moo, who both died to server issues. It hurts me. I can't imagine how they're feeling. Most of all, what does this mean for the future of hardcore? The nature of the game mode is all about high stakes and losing it all and eventually going again. But when the reason you just died is completely out of your control, and in our cases, meaning losing hundreds of hours played, do you go again at that point? No. I wouldn't. I wouldn't. The frequency of these server issues begs the question, is it time for Blizzard to get involved with some rollbacks? Yes, I totally agree. I think one might look at it like life. Sometimes you fuck up because you don't look left and right before crossing the road. Sometimes you get by a brain aneurysm for no reason. That being said, I don't think video games should emulate real life. There's a reason why we play games and it's not, hey, I want to have the same chores and issues as I do anyway. I support rollbacks in these cases of mass murder. I support them as well. They'll not happen. Blizz has made that clear. This isn't the first purge. It won't be the last. It just seems like new players can't accept what has happened. Anyone who's played hardcore long enough, I'll tell you that if this happened to me, absolutely no way would I go again. I would not. I would just not do that. And now tons of people will not go again. Huge lag kills people. I was in a dungeon just now. The healer lagged in place. I look over in my buddy's Discord. He's in a totally different group. Everyone's lagging over there except him. We see 2 people die in his group. Meanwhile, in spam, logging out, exit game. I'm spamming, logging out. I don't even know if I make it. We just ass pulled a pat. I log back in, I'm safe, but I'm sure a lot of people aren't. Server-wide client lag because the Discord call never dropped. Yeah. Hundreds and maybe thousands didn't make it. This is not acceptable at all to go on. This is, yeah, I completely agree that it's bullshit if they don't roll it back. If this is a clear and verifiable case where lots of people were killed because of Blizzard servers. Now, maybe it's not Blizzard's fault. It could be caused by DDoS, whatever. Like, just because Blizzard might not be entirely to blame for whatever caused the servers to go down, ultimately it is their responsibility to either do something more proactively about their infrastructure or do a rollback in this case. There's no way that they're gonna roll. I don't think that they will, but I do think that they should. Because, like, man, it's just so shitty. You can't play hardcore without having some level of trust in the game systems. hardcore is supposed to be about your skill. It's about your game knowledge. It's about like surviving because of like you can control a situation, things you can that are in your control. But if it just becomes about surviving things that you can't control, then I feel like it fundamentally alters the name of the game. Like, then it just comes down more to your luck than your choices and your gameplay. And in that case, what's the point? Like, that kind of... Do you see how that erodes the foundation that hardcore is built on? I hope that they can see that, because, I mean, that's... it matters to the core appeal of the game mode in its entirety. I can tell you that whenever I was playing Final Fantasy 14 a lot and I was doing Deep Dungeon solo, I remember I had a DC that was my fault that I wouldn't expect Square to do anything about. Of course. But I died at like 170 something, and there's 200 floors, and it had taken me probably 10 hours to get to that point. That's nothing compared to what the amount of time people put into hardcore. That's baby hours. That's nothing. And it made me not want to play the game mode anymore. I just didn't want to do it anymore. After that, it happened. Because I no longer... Like, I lost trust in this... in my ability to stay connected in a way that would allow me to enjoy it. And that was my fault. It was my fault. So, like, to a degree, well, it wasn't really my fault. It was a DC. But it was my connection's fault. So I don't blame Square for that. But what I'm saying is that I can see how feeling like that, you died due to something outside of your control, makes you not want to return. And when it happens at such a broad scale, I really think that Blizzard should do some kind of a rollback, or I don't know, maybe even compensate the player for in some way. I don't know, compensation, give people some more game time back. That might be a nice thing to do. Just like, sorry, because it is if it is server instability, then it's on them to apologize for it, or to solve it, or prevent it. I feel like they should be more proactive about it, or acknowledge it. But I'm absolutely on the side of people that are calling for a rollback here, because I know that some people are saying, you know, it's just the nature of hardcore. These things happen. You accepted that when you decided to play, and you accept the terms. When you start to play on hardcore, and it warns you, hey, you could get DC'd and you're gonna lose everything. They do warn you about that. Like, I don't argue that. Blizzard never promised that it would be stable. And, but that doesn't change the fact that they could do more. Right? Why shouldn't we ask for more from them? Why shouldn't we ask them to take more responsibility in a case like this, where literally thousands of people died all at the same time? Like, that just feels right. That feels like the right thing to do. Roll it back. Because I don't really count on them improving their systems to prevent it from happening in the first place. I don't think that's right. I know that some people are like, oh, if they did it, then people are going to ask for it for every little thing. Like, every time there's some death that was outside their control, they're going to ask for rollback. So what? You know? I think that obviously they can't do a rollback every time, but in a case that's especially bad and huge like this, that's this widespread, which is relatively rare, I think it would be okay to do at their own discretion sometimes. It sucks though. Like, I know that a rollback can suck, because then you also roll back people's progress, you know, people that weren't affected. But that's why they need to do it as quickly as possible. Now it's kind of late. Like, imagine getting rolled back and you're not level 60 anymore. That would suck. Like, they would need to do this very quickly after the incident. But, I still think that it's the right thing to do. Maybe they could just roll back only the people that died. Instead of like a full thing. Full rollback. Yeah. I'm sure there's a way that they could do that. Man, it sucks so much. That's horrible. I hate that. I really hate that for people. Because I feel like if this does keep happening, then players, like, it's so easy to get burnt out on hardcore, even when everything's working fine. Shit, like I've been stuck at level 52 for weeks. I got so burnt out, I did not even want to play anymore. I needed a break, a long one, because I just got burnt out. There's nothing wrong, like nothing bad happened. I'm totally safe. I haven't even had any scary moments. I've been like leveling, no problem. I'm just tired. I'm not so tired. Takes forever. Takes forever. And I'll tell you something else. I felt the exact same way in vanilla. At the same level. I remember. I remember leveling my character so clearly. And I got to level 52. And I was like, damn, I don't think I can do it anymore. I'm tired. And it took me a while to go back and finally get her to 60. That's just like the point where I feel like I can't. I need a break. But so you already you have the potential for burnout already, and then having something like that happen, like go again, no shot, no shot after that. Do you think that Blizzard could do more to prevent this? I feel like people affected should be able to submit a ticket and be manually reviewed for personal rollbacks. Yeah. Things like this happen, but at the end of the day, we pay every month. We should demand the best service possible. Thank you. There's absolutely no reason that you should make excuses for Blizzard or argue for them to not improve things. Like, that's something that just doesn't make any sense to me at all. Because they can choose whether or not they want to improve things. Improving things will cost them money. And improving things, especially if it's just like in terms of improving their infrastructure, that doesn't even affect you. It would help you. It would help everybody. But I don't know. The server issues have been happening for a while now. It's a joke. Yeah, it's bullshit. It is bullshit. It's a lot of money people pay every month, and you pay with the expectation, with a certain expectation, that you can trust them to provide a game that's playable. There's no reason they can't do it. It's free goodwill for Blizzard, absolutely. It's like how housing demolition gets paused for natural disasters in FFXAV. The devs don't have to do it, but it's a nice thing to do. Yes, they don't have to do it, but it sure would be cool if they did that. Because, God, I bet that there's people that were like that close to 60 when this happened. There's guild kill of a 60 bot. This is the WoW hardcore subreddit. Died to Blizz purge. Zero motivation to go again. Cancelled subscription. That's what I'm talking about. That's horrible. Level 60. I hate that. This is someone who obviously put in a lot of time, was having fun, and you push them away. And you're not going to do anything about it? Here's a tombstone with your name on it, plus many others. It's just outrageous that they won't do anything. Really. So geared. Blizzard should revive players due to their own technical fault. It would be easy for them to go through and check what time everybody died. Because everybody died at the same freaking time. They got DDoSed. How is that their fault? It's not. But it's still their responsibility to do something with the aftermath and keep players from unsubscribing. It doesn't matter that it's not their fault that they got DDoS. When a server goes, after a server goes down, roll back 3 minutes. I don't know. Maybe. I wouldn't go again in your shoes either, especially since it looks like you hit a lot of hardcore goals already. Going again, at least for me, means that I made a mistake that cost me the run, and I'll do better next time. There's no doing better here. The game randomly decided that you should die. Hardcore expects players to be absolutely perfect, since a single mistake can cost hundreds of hours of gameplay. But it's apparently allowed to mess up infinite amount of times, and the fault still falls on players. Absolutely true. It's a tragedy, and has Blizzard said anything about it since this happened? It's been 5 days. Did they say, do they have anything to say? Yeah, that's my question. I doubt it. But, it just like, in the case of hardcore, as a game mode, it's different. It is different. And it's something that I really think that they should think more about. Because it just gets, the whole point of it is ruined by this kind of stuff going on. Like, death should be unpredictable because you could unpredictably make a mistake. Or, face some challenge that you weren't prepared for. This shouldn't be like this. I don't know. Sad. Very sad. No, they never said anything about it. Well, people are absolutely right to be pissed. And unsubscribe for this. Maybe if enough people unsub that were doing hardcore, they will see that it will get their attention. Man. Yeah, you have to be able to trust the game systems to hold up. Or it's just gonna feel like a roll of the dice. You're just gonna, it's a gamba. Whether or not you live. It's terrible. Just terrible. The silence from them is deafening.